Well, it's finally here, your last year. What does that feel like? You've been here, it's been such a journey for you through this program, probably through some times that you weren't expecting to face necessarily in 2020, but the last campaign is finally here for you.
Yeah, I'm very excited. This is my sixth fall camp, so and I remember my first one like I was a freshman like yesterday. The longer it goes, it feels like it gets easier in a way. But I'm just enjoying it, just trying to enjoy every second of it, take it all in, not take a day for granted, don't take a meeting, anything like that. Just really enjoy it. Enjoy time with your guys and things like that. So I'm just trying to have fun and just come to work every day.
How does it change for you now that we're kind of moving into a different segment? You're out of just helmets now the pads come on. How does that change for you behind the center?
It definitely does because you get an actual pass rush, and I feel like the run game and the pass game kind of opens up because defense actually has to play the run and not play the pass most of the time. But it's good. I'm glad we're getting in pads. You kind of get that full feeling of it's getting closer, it's getting here. So it's definitely that time. So
What's it been like to mentor this guy behind you here who's maybe going to be taking over for you next year and kind of showing him how Emporia State plays at the quarterback position?
Yeah, Chase, he's been a sponge since he's got here. We actually played each other back in high school, way back in the day, so it's funny when he committed and stuff like that. We got the high school memories of that one game. He did win that game, so I will give him credit to that, but it's awesome. He helps me out on game days, during practice, during film. It's vice versa. It's, hey, he sees something or I see something, we talk about it, things like that. So it's definitely good that he's right there with me. I can talk to him about anything, about the game, whatever else, things like that. So, it's definitely been good.
6 years with Coach Higgins. I asked him at football media days, what kind of comfortability he had with you. About as comfortable as you can get. You guys working together for 6 years. How's that relationship kind of matured over this 6-year process with Coach?
It's definitely like offensive standpoint. He lets me have my freedom and just run the offense. He doesn't try to hold me back or anything like that. So it's definitely grown from over the years. When you're a freshman, your head's kind of spinning and he might yell at you a little bit, and you're just like, whoa. And now it's just like, it's just Coach Higg, like he's just getting mad, but it's all good. It's definitely grown though. We meet all the time during the season, things like that, watch film together. So, I feel like being around him so much, I speak and think the same way kind of he does on the football side of things. So, definitely helps a lot when I can just go out there and play and just don't have to worry about it. I know he's got my back and I got his, so just go out there and play.
Is there anything different about this fall camp compared to your previous 5?
I wouldn't say so. It's fall camp. You got long days, things like that. But I'm just trying to enjoy it. I try to enjoy all the other ones. I do like fall camp. Some guys, you get practice 10, 11, and start straining down, but I just like being up here. I love the game. I love being around the guys. It's no school right now, so it's just football and your guys. So it's just awesome. You just got to take advantage every day and just really enjoy it.
And does it feel like football season for you when fall camp starts, or when MIAA Media Day rolls around and things kind of get going before practice starts?
The Media Day definitely was like, dang it, it's coming. It's right here around the corner. And the summer just flew by. It seemed like my quickest summer here ever. So, but once those pads hit today, it's really going to feel like, hey, we got a game in 3 weeks. So, just having that on your mind, but still just coming out every day and just going to work.
You might have touched on this a little bit, but does it being your last season change your goals at all?
No, not at all. I try to have goals for myself and for this team, each and every year. It's really just being the best that I can be, whether not put a limit on it or anything like that. Just go be you, go be your best self, and bring guys along with you and try to elevate them. So just that mindset of not limiting yourself and just keep going.
And just to feed up the one question of how you said Coach Higgins kind of lets you just kind of be free. I know Patrick Mahomes did the same thing. Andy Reid lets him just kind of do his own thing. As a quarterback, when your coach has that much trust in you, how much confidence does that give you to kind of, you run your own game and just be able to be free as possible?
It definitely gives you a lot because you got the head coach trusting you with the offense, trusting to run in the right way, things like that. So, just definitely going out there and just playing, just playing ball and having fun, Don't make it too hard, just make it simple and just go out there and play. So, it's definitely a big confidence builder. I don't know what else. I mean, sorry. I don't know what else to go with it. No, but it's definitely, it's fun back there, just really getting to air it out and play at our tempo and the way we play. It's a fun offense to be in, so, I couldn't ask for anything more.
I think one last thing for me is, when you bring back a lot of, some starters from last year, the success you guys had, of course, last year, what are you specifically looking forward to most under center and just and getting things rolling here in the next couple of weeks?
I'm just ready to play, going through practices, things like that, I'm just itching to play. I'm ready to go. But definitely having guys back, knowing the offense, knowing the system, that definitely helps a lot. Trusting guys, knowing what they're going to do, they know what you want, things like that. Just having, the relationships with those guys, and a lot of them we've been through some tough games, through some tough times together. So, you build from that. It makes you stronger as teammates, brothers, things like that. So, just having those guys have my back and I got theirs, just go out there and just let it take care of itself.
That's perfect.
Sweet.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right.
How would you say you grade yourself in terms of picking up the speed of this offense that Coach Higgins wants to run so far here through the first 2 days of camp?
I feel like I'm progressing pretty good. It's one thing to know the offense, know what everybody's doing, but it's another thing to keep the tempo going with that Coach Higgins wants, and just keeping that speed and moving the offense and stuff.
I know you guys have a little history, you and BG. What's it like to have been led and mentored by him leading up to this season?
In high school, we obviously played against each other, and our game plan was he is a good player, he's going to make plays, and we got to stop him. And just knowing that where he came from high school and how he was and who he is now and how he's been a mentor to me is I'm super grateful for that, and he's an awesome dude. And yeah.
What's the number one thing that you and Coach Higgins have identified as maybe the aspect of your game that you want to try to develop the most this year?
I think it's, like I kind of explained in the first question, I think it's just keeping the pace and tempo of the offense going, being a leader on the field, just because everybody's gonna heads are gonna be spinning and stuff, and just keeping people accountable and able to move it while we're going is probably a big thing for me. So.
And obviously, as a number 2 guy, you know that anything can change, and you have to be ready without any notice at times to be ready to come in. How do you keep yourself in that mentality in camp, and then obviously transitioning on game day? How do you get yourself ready to go in at a moment's notice?
Coach Higgins, he has a good saying. It's prepare like you're the starter. So every week, every practice, every film session, I have to put in my mind is, I'm going into this game starting, and I need to be ready for any given moment and just be ready at all times.
And Braden mentioned that he learns as much from you as you're learning from him. How is it having that relationship with your starting quarterback?
It's awesome. We both have similar backgrounds, coming from the same area. Just coming in and him being such a smart quarterback, and me just being able to see stuff and kind of knowing what's going on, and us kind of bouncing off each other is really good for both of us, and I think it helps us in the long run.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest things that you've learned from him?
I think just managing the offense is a big thing. I see how he does things and signal to the backside, like he does that stuff, and I've learned to just do what he does, because obviously he's pretty good at what he does, so I think it's a big impact on me. So.
And this could potentially be your offense next season. So how does that change anything about how you look at it this season, knowing the next season you could be taking over?
It doesn't really change my mind, because like I said, I prepare as a starter, so I'm always in that mindset of following I'm obviously following Braden, but I got to prepare like I'm the starter. So I think once that step comes, I'll be ready for it. So.
I know the team culture here, right? How many players transfer, right? Braden's been, the starter for quite a few years, and you could have easily said, no, I'm going somewhere else. I want to start my own program, everything else. But for you, why did you want to stay and learn from Coach Higgins and also Braden and continue that process?
I think it's the camaraderie of the team. I like to shout out my roommates. I love them. They're the best. All my best friends. The quarterback room, Coach Higgins. We all push each other and bring each other to a next level that I don't think I could get anywhere else. And I love the team, being around everybody. It's a different type of team. So.
Who are your roommates?
Tommy Zimmerman, Bo Odom, Rafe Goucher, and Dylan Roach. They're awesome.
That's a room.
Now I gotta ask, who do you think's got better hair, you or Braden?
Definitely me.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Good job.
Well, Coach, was there any part of you, I know there was lightning in the area, was there any part of you that wished, like, man, maybe we should just go outside and practice in the rain, and be ready for, if it's raining when we go to Tahlequah or wherever it is?
Yeah, here's my thoughts, my philosophy on that is we will, it just kind of, my thing is it's our third practice. I want to make sure we get something out of it. And when you don't have it indoor and you're dealing with the weather, I think you have to, whatever decision you make, I mean, you guys know this, I mean, weatherman can be wrong, right? So like you look at the radar and you're like, all right, it's going to continue to rain. We're going to go out. If we practice, then it's going to be, the footballs are going to get wet. All right. Yeah, we need to practice with a wet ball, but we will get to that. I wanted, so you just have to make a decision and go with it. So we were like, listen, we're gonna change it up. We thought about it last night, and then this morning, Coach Saporto and Coach Cash, my two coordinators, kind of got together and kind of came up with the plan, and so we changed it. We told the players it was a halftime adjustment, and so now I always say this. Sometimes I might have could have played golf in that today, but practice-wise, I'm going to say I don't know, because I want to just get something done. And we play in rain. I understand that too. But I like to make sure that if we're going to practice, especially this early in camp, that we're going to get something out of it.
And then, when you guys have to make a change, sometimes in a game there's going to be a weather delay, or a game is going to get delayed because of other things. So how much of that do you want your guys to kind of take from this? Because something's probably going to pop up for a game this year, and it may be something exactly like this.
Right, and it has happened quite a few times, actually. Happened last year. It almost happens either every other year or every year. But so yeah, that's a great point. It gives our guys an understanding of sometimes you have to make adjustments, and they get in a rhythm. Granted, it's only our third practice, but you want to try to stay in rhythm as best you can during camp. So we just had to make that slight adjustment, and I do think it prepares our guys to have to make changes if we ever have to during the course of the season.
You mentioned at Football Media Day that you have such a level of comfortability with BG being your guy, 6 years here in the program. Would you say, has there been any other quarterback that you've come into the season just having this level of comfort with, knowing that he knows exactly what you want out of the offense?
Yeah, I think that we've had a really good core of quarterbacks here, and they're all different, and they're all different in the way that they prepared. They're all competitive. I think with Braden, him just being here for as long as he's been here, 6 years, and also being a coach's son, and that's what he wants to do. See, the other three guys that I consider great quarterbacks here, none of them are coaching right now. Braden wants to be a football coach, so it is different, and I would say yes, he has a different mindset just because of he knows this is what he wants to do in his life when he gets done playing is coach this great game. So his preparation, I think, just from a standpoint of wanting to be a coach, a lot of times we can talk and visit about game plans, about adjustments, and he gets it, he understands it. I mean, he could go coach the quarterbacks for us right now. He really could, because he's been here for so long, understands the drills I like to do every day, and you know, and that's one of the things that's awesome about having your sheriff, your quarterback, that speaks the same language I do, which can be hard at times.
And then Chase Ricke, when he was up there, you know, off camera, there were a lot of answers he was given, and you were kind of shaking your head up and down. How far along is he in his journey of starting to get it and get to that level where Braden's at?
Oh yeah, he gets it. He really does. I mean, he understands the offense. Here's the thing too, he's a coach's son as well. So, you know, my starter and my backup are both coach's son. You know, I was a coach's son, but them two are definitely a lot better than me. I probably disappointed my dad because I wasn't that good. But both of those guys, just growing up with football in their blood, and you know, they both know how to prepare. And I think that's what's helped Chase so much too. He mentioned about watching Braden, and we can watch film to get better. I definitely believe in that, but I always talk to the players about watch the guy in front of you, you know, and mimic that. You know, find your own way, find your own style a little bit, but really that's and you're right. He watches Braden and learns from him, but at the same time, Chase understands the level of quarterback play that has been here. He understands that he does, when he gets his opportunity to be the starter here, that he wants to prepare himself like he is the starter. And he said that, and I do tell him that, like, hey, you have to prepare. It's very difficult, but you have to be disciplined, and you have to prepare just like you're the starter, because literally you're one play away.
And what is your fall camp schedule kind of like? When you guys set it, like, what are you looking for each week before you move on to the next week in order to be prepared for the season?
I think that, you know, right now our thought process is install, all right, where you're getting both your offensive and defensive schemes installed, all right, and then after a week of that, then we'll turn to situational football. You know, our third and long calls, our goal line defense, that sort of thing. Then we'll start installing that 2-minute offense, okay, which we're kind of in 2-minute offense all the time. But so that's what we will turn to. We'll do some scrimmaging, and then we'll turn around, and then we'll start game week, where we will begin to develop our game plan. Like everything that we have installed, we may not run that in the first game. So we have to figure out, based off what Lincoln does, what will be the best, you know, run concepts, pass concepts that will give us an opportunity, things we can do defensively, give us an opportunity to win the game.
And then, you know, as I probably heard me ask, you know, Chase, that he could have transferred, you know, especially in his transfer portal, but what does that say about his character to be able to stay in the program and to be able to follow your lead and follow Braden's lead at the same time? And like Lady mentioned, you know, this could be your offense next year. So what does that say about his character of him staying in the program and learning from yourself and also Braden?
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with, first of all, Chase is a great person, and he grew up, as I said, a coach's son. And I think there are understandings when you are a coach's son about competition and about commitment. And it is special that Chase has stayed here, because in this day and age, if you want to talk about a position where players transfer, it's at that quarterback position. If they're not the starter, then they want to take their ball and go play somewhere else, which I understand that, and I'm not, you know, saying that's a bad thing. But I think it's special when the kid who plays quarterback, they want to stay. Number one, like I said, he grew up around his father was a coach. But the other thing about it is the quarterbacks that we've had here, and they've been pretty good, the last 4. And I think it means something to him that he wants to have that opportunity to be one of those starters. And, you know, I think him being happy, he's talked about his roommates, right? And the players and the camaraderie and all that. You know, being happy is important to him. And if the player is happy and they feel good about their surroundings, their situation, I think they're going to be a better player, because they're going to be comfortable. And they're going to, and when they go to practice, they're going to be excited about it because they're going to be around their teammates.
And one last thing, right? You know, you've been doing this a long time. Do you still get the jitters, when fall camp starts and of course when the first game rolls around?
It is the same. It is the same. I worry about things. And as a head coach, I've been doing it a long time, and you'd think I'd be used to it. You really would. But man, it's like I said the other day. It's only our second practice, but I feel like we've been practicing for 5 or 6 days. But I get excited about it. I worry about just making sure and one thing about it is I shouldn't have to worry about it as much as I used to, because I have a great staff and they do a great job, and I appreciate their hard work and their effort, because they do make my job easier. I have been doing this a long time. I think I've been a head coach now for over 20. I'm going on my 17th year here. Whenever the time comes that I don't feel the same way before camp starts or before games, then I know it's time for me to maybe do something else. But right now, I have the same energy. I have the same thought process. I worry about all the same things, just like I did in 2007, my first year here during camp.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much,
Yeah.
Coach.
You bet. See you guys.